Hey guys, this is Nate from RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Today's video, I just want to talk briefly on the London Marathon 2020 results. I know a lot of people around the world were able to watch that race. My takeaway from it was the fact that people were absolutely shocked that Eliud Kipchoge, the world record holder for the marathon at 2:01:39, could possibly be beaten. And the fact that he ended up finishing 8th place in 2:06:49 on an off day is absolutely incredible. But I think in our sport, it really reminds me that if you're always on top, if you're always winning, if you're always in the limelight, people love you. But when you have a defeat or you're off your game, people start to question and wonder if something's wrong. How often have you ever been in a situation where you performed at less than your best? And have you ever dealt with naysayers and negative people wondering why you ran so bad? I have over the years as well. When I was in high school, it seemed like every single weekend it was like I had to keep breaking records, and if I didn't perform at a high level all the time, why didn't you win? The sport of running is far more than just winning. It's us getting out the door and putting in the heavy work and going after our goals, whether we succeed or we fail. It's really about the journey rather than it's the process of going after something that we really want. It was also humorous to me the fact that people were beating up on Kenny Bekele of Ethiopia, who's run the second fastest time at 2:01:42 that he ran in Berlin last year, decided to drop out of the London Marathon. It's just beating him up. He's finished and there's no way in the world he's going to ever run faster than he ever has. The London Marathon 2020 results, in my opinion, considering that the conditions were that bad, the fact that the winner was able to run 2:05:42 in those conditions, and even Eliud Kipchoge, the fact that he finished 8th place and was really he was with the leaders all the way up until the last 5 kilometers of the race, and really he wasn't that far behind, finishing in 8th place, like I said, in 2:06:49. But I think in regards to the London Marathon 2020 results, some of the key takeaways that I saw from it was just the knowledge that you're not always going to have great weather, you're not always going to have perfect conditions, and we all have to go out there and compete. Over the years, I've competed in every type of weather there was. Even when I was deployed to Kuwait in 2003, I ran a few races over there in sandstorms. I mean, I've trained in sandstorms, I've raced in sandstorms, winter conditions, blizzards, high winds, rain, and the wind and rain is probably the toughest conditions to try to race at when you're trying to go after a fast time. And really, I don't think there was anything really wrong with Eliud Kipchoge's time. How can you say anything wrong with a 2:06:49? And he's the world record holder. But the fact that they had to race on a 19-lap course in those types of conditions and run that fast, there is nobody online that should be saying anything negative about Eliud Kipchoge's 8th place 2:06:49, the fact that he didn't win this particular race. We're all different. Everybody's got to have their viewpoint, myself included. So I just think that in particular, when you're at the top and when you're competing at high levels and when you're continually trying to run faster and faster and faster, there's always more pressure on you. When I was with the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program, I thoroughly enjoyed being a part of that elite unit, but at the same time, there was so much pressure that every single performance was monitored, and how fast you ran and what place you placed at, as it should be in that particular unit. But I think in terms of you and you moving forward in your racing career, just keep your particular goals in mind and what you really want to do, and know that it's not always going to be perfect. You are going to have ups and downs. You are going to lose races. you are going to have performances where you just simply cannot turn over and you cannot perform at the level that you know you're capable of doing. So I just want to encourage you guys to know that even the best runners in the world have off days, just like Kipchoge. I think that Kenny Bekele made a very wise decision of not running the London Marathon 2020 event and pulling out of that race, knowing that the conditions were going to be as bad as they were. I think that sometimes you got to weigh your options and see what's best for you. You're going to be out of your hands. Like I said before in other videos, do focus on what you can control so you can be successful in the sport. But also know that if the best runners in the world have bad days and bad performances, then it's okay for you to every once in a while have one as well. And when it comes, don't get so bent out of shape and don't lose heart and don't focus so much on it. One of the biggest mistakes I made over the years is when I was really getting competitive was just being so upset and distraught if I had a bad race or if I had a bad performance, and just letting it go. It's okay to feel disappointed after a bad race, but just don't dwell on it for very long. Focus on, after the race is over, there's nothing you can do to change that particular performance, but you can decide, you can make notes of what went wrong, what went right for your race, and start focusing on the next race that you have in mind. So again, don't dwell on your bad races or your bad performances for too long. Suck it up, suck it up and deal with it. Accept the things that went right and accept the things that went wrong in your race, and make those changes so that you can succeed in your next race. But I just wanted to make this video on the London Marathon 2020 results because of just some of the things I read online and how people were reacting, and kind of like just shocked that Eliud Kipchoge could possibly lose. And I thought that he really handled himself well. He said, "I'm human too, I can lose, and we're professionals." And I thought he really handled himself well in the interviews after the race. So really just keep his example in mind, and know that even if there's bad conditions, you're not going to be racing in perfect conditions out there. Maybe it's raining, maybe it's windy. Just know that your competition has to deal with it as well. And that's something I always kept in mind in my own races when I had to go up against guys and gals who were dealing with the same type of weather conditions that I had to deal with. And it's, at the end of the day, it's how you react and what you're telling yourself in the race and prior to the race, and how you're keeping yourself relaxed and calm and focused as you can in those types of conditions, because the best runners are going to be able to handle it better than the others. Just wanted to make a quick video on the London Marathon 2020 results. Again, I thought it was incredible that those guys and gals, even the lady that won, I mean, she's the world record holder for the marathon, and she ran like 2:18:50s, which is absolutely incredible. So kudos to you, all the athletes that were out there competing in the London Marathon 2020 event. Hopefully we actually can see all the masses race in 2021, and things will be a lot smoother next year. So if you're brand new to the channel, click on that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so when I make a new video, you'll be notified. And in the comments below, let me know what you guys thought about the London Marathon 2020 event. What were your viewpoints of Kipchoge and the rest of the guys and the gals that ran that race in those conditions? I'd really want to hear what you guys thought about it. So have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.